we're happy to bring in Brayden Maldonado, one of the guards for the Seattle Redhawks, one of the newest addition to the West Coast Conference. Brayden, how was your summer, and how has been the early days of working out with all of your new teammates?
Oh yeah, summer's been great. Have a long season, so you get a couple weeks off, but we were all excited to really get back and really meet each other. A lot of new guys here, and since we've all been back, we've really gelled well together. The chemistry's been great. Very intense practices, so it's been a lot of fun being back with some of the guys from last year and meeting a lot of the new guys. It's been a lot of fun this summer.
And Brayden, you kind of, for us in the media, we're never going to know what it's like, and maybe it's just boring and it's another day at the office. But you're playing in the WAC. You're transitioning to the WCC. Is there anything different from, say, practice on June 30th to practice on July 2nd, either from your perspective, Coach Victor's perspective? Like, what have you guys been experiencing now that you'll be in a new league for this upcoming season?
That's a good question. I wouldn't say a lot has changed. I mean, in the summer, obviously, there's a certain amount of hours you're allowed to work out and stuff like that, time-wise. But I feel like for us, we kept the same intensity. We know the WAC's a tough conference, as well as going into the WCC is going to be a tough conference. I think we've kept the intensity. I think our practices have even jumped up a level with intensity. I think we know we're heading into a tough conference, and it's going to be a really fun year. So it's going to be a new challenge for us, and I think we haven't taken any of it lightly, and we're ready.
And you do have, again, you mentioned a lot of the new guys that are going to be on this roster, and you brought up a couple of guys who were in the WAC with you, obviously Brock Felder, and then also Austin Maurer coming over from Grand Canyon. So you do have some of those familiar faces. And you talked about just how the level of competition in practice has kind of ramped up. Do you think that this team is maybe a little bit deeper than where you were a year ago? Obviously, like you guys were 14 and 18 a year ago, but it really seems like that the roster as a whole is a lot deeper than it was a year ago, and there's going to be definitely a step back up this season.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like you said, we added guys who were in the WAC with us last year, which are going to be a huge help. Those two big guys with Austin and Brock, as well as adding some other guys depth-wise, which was very helpful. I also think just guys coming back like Malik, it was his first year here as well with me. Just guys, with another year under their belt, playing together under the system. I think it's going to be a big step for everybody. Guys with experience, guys coming in who have played with us and against us and stuff like that. So I think the depth is definitely going to help this year, as well as all of us kind of having another year under our belt, under the same program, playing with each other and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be really fun.
So as you're adding new guys, obviously a lot of what college athletics is a team from last year is not the same team that walks in the building day one of the following season. But what's it kind of like, almost setting the standard, so to speak, for what Seattle basketball is going to be alongside guys like John Christophoulos? Like, what's it like showcasing of what you guys want to demand from yourselves in order to try and be the best version of you guys over the course of this year?
I think it starts kind of with the intensity part that I brought in. Guys coming in, like you said, they're your teammates. You want to welcome them, but when we're in practice, we're going at each other. You know what I'm saying? We're going hard, and just letting guys know that we play hard over here. We play defense. You know what I'm saying? We really do it all. So just when guys come in, I'm saying welcome them with open arms, but also like going at guys. That's how you get better, is competition and intensity, like I said. And if one guy brings it, we all rise to that occasion. So I think just guys coming back, letting people know that like we're about it here, like we're intense and we're gonna play hard and we're gonna love you because you're our teammates. But when we're in practice, we're going at each other and we're gonna get better.
And one of the things going into this year, because again, like you're one of the returners on this squad with a handful of others, how has maybe your role changed now that you were kind of the more experienced one under Coach Victor's system and on that Seattle campus? How has that kind of role changed for you as you've been working with your new teammates?
Yeah. I would say I've came into more of a leadership role. I would say I'm being a lot more vocal. I think it's kind of normal for guys. Like my last year was my first year to come in, kind of to try to get comfortable and try to feel everybody out. You don't want to step on anybody's toes and stuff like that. But I think I really found my voice at the end of last year, just being vocal, keeping the guys' heads together, mental space, just making sure guys are ready and locked in. So I think this year, me, like I said, having a year under my belt and coming in, kind of know what's expected from me. I think I've taken a big step in the vocal leadership role, as well as, making sure guys are doing what they're supposed to do, even on campus, like classes, what I'm saying, stuff like that, teaching the new guys who have came around. So I think I just came more comfortable in my area and with my surroundings. So it kind of gave me a voice, where I'm confident and I can speak, with authority and stuff like that. The guys that can respect me and stuff. So.
I kind of want to follow up to that answer because everyone's leadership path is different. It's not natural to everybody. And kind of comparing yourself to your high school days, does leadership come naturally for you now, or do you even at this level, do you still have to kind of like quote unquote like find it, or have like a coach tell you, say, hey, go take charge of this? Or how did leadership come to you in a Seattle Redhawks uniform?
I think last year, we kind of struggled with someone who was really always vocal. And I think that's just kind of where it started at. Some days you come in, you're tired of practicing, and it's real quiet in the gym, and everyone knows quiet gyms are losing gyms. So I don't know. I kind of just, whether I was playing, whether I wasn't, whether I was doing well, whether I wasn't, I tried to just bring as much energy as possible. And I think that's kind of where it started for me. As you said, like in high school as well. I think some of those down days, like you can feel the energy in the gym. I would just come in and try to crack a joke or something, or, what I'm saying, just be loud so people can just, turn up, be positive and stuff like that. So I think it kind of started with me just being super vocal and trying to get the energy up in the gym. And then once I see, everyone feeds off that, I kind of just keep it going. And Coach Victor said he liked what I was doing. So, I mean, I kind of just kept with that. You know what I'm saying? People benefited from it. So I kind of just took that upon myself to just keep it going and being consistent with that. I think that's the biggest thing, is being consistent.
Now, one of the new things for a lot of those of us who cover the WCC, follow the WCC, is we're going to get to two new buildings, not only the Red Hawk Center, but also because you guys do play games over at Climate Pledge Arena. Just kind of talk about the energy and the excitement that there is around the cams, and what WCC fans should expect coming into Seattle for your games.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Hawk Center, it's rowdy. It gets nice. It gets nice and loud in there. It's not a huge gym, which I kind of like, but I think it plays into our favor because we can pack it out with all the Red Hawk fans because they love coming to games and they're loud. So with the Red Hawk Center, you can definitely expect a lot of red and hear it to be really loud. And then at Climate Pledge, it's just it's a brand new, beautiful arena as well, and people can't wait. They hear the Climate Pledge games and everyone goes running. So it's going to be a lot of fun coming to Seattle. The energy is always great. Fans are always great, and it's always going to be a good time and a good game.
Do you have to make almost any adjustments trying to shoot in those different like style of gyms per se, different like depth perception, different backgrounds? What's the transition like, if at all, between the Red Hawk Center and then going towards CPA and trying to still try and give buckets?
Yeah, it's a little different. I think the pregame shoot around always helps. You get in there because we get in there and get a lot of shots up, so you can kind of feel if you're shooting it too hard, shooting it too, you can feel the difference. So I think the pregame shoot around definitely always helps. But for me, I try to just keep it out of my head. I try to think that every gym's the same and I'm just shooting the same way. I don't want to put a little mental block in there that, probably isn't there in real life. So I kind of just try to keep it all the same for me. But I think the pregame shoot arounds help a lot. You can kind of feel how your jumper's feeling, where you're shooting out on the floor and stuff like that. So I think that helps for sure.
Now, one of the things, obviously, like a lot of the WCC gyms are also not too big. Like most of them are somewhere between 6,000 to 4,000 seat facilities. So no other gym is going to be all that big. But talking about also just the competition level in the WCC versus the WAC. Obviously, there were some really good teams in the WAC, Grand Canyon, Utah Valley, like in their tournament level quality teams. You come to a league with Gonzaga, St. Mary's, San Francisco, and these are teams who have obviously are either every year tournament teams or teams who have been in the tournament recently. As you kind of like start to prep for that level of competition in a new league, what sort of like excitement, or how has maybe the practices changed, knowing that you do have a lot of teams who are, especially in certain cases, are established college basketball names and brands?
Yeah, for sure. I think like you touched on moving into a bigger conference, you would say, with teams who are always in the tournament and really big names. I think it's super exciting. I mean, when you're in college and in the pros, really anywhere, you want to play against the best teams, so you want to see where you stack up against. And I think you playing against the best will raise your level to be the best. So I think for us, it's super exciting going there, being the first year here, playing a lot of the teams that we haven't played before, knowing how good they are and how historic they are. I think it's really exciting for us, and it really puts a chip on our shoulder, because it's going to be our first year here. We're coming from the WAC, probably a smaller school, you could say. But I think a lot of us are really excited. And like kind of what you said, to touch on the practices, been super locked into details, small details. And like I said, the intensity, we kind of know what we're going into, and we're trying to prepare right now as much as we can to play those teams.
You mentioned in that answer, like raising the level. Who are some of those guys that maybe we're not familiar with that you are seeing in practice day by day that have raised their level exponentially and are going to earn their way onto having a lot of playing time during WCC games this year?
Yeah, for sure. I think a kid named Rayvon Adams, he redshirted for us last year, young freshman. He's about 6'8", long arms, great athlete, and the kid just plays really hard. So he does everything asked. He does that. He does all the right things. So I think Ray will earn himself a lot of minutes as well. And JoJo Murphy as well, new kid coming in, Division II transfer, shoots the ball really well, plays hard. I think he'll earn a lot of minutes as well. So those two guys, I'm really excited. As well as we have a lot of utility guys who can play everywhere, and guys who play the right way and play hard. So there'll be a lot of minutes to go around for sure, and I'm excited to see everybody on the court.
Yeah, and as you're starting to, again, there's a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces, and with this squad. And we talked to Coach Victor a little bit about a month or so ago about what the personality of his teams have been, and it really does seem like this is, even based off last year, this is going to be defensive minded team. This is going to be a scrappier team, tougher team. Kind of talk about just like what the mentality or the personality seems to be right now, because obviously year to year teams personalities can change, and those start to meld from one to the next. But what does it feel like right now, like what the personality of the squad's going to be?
Yeah, I think like Coach Victor said, and kind of what you touched on. I mean, we're defense. That's what we're about. We play hard. We're gonna get on loose balls. We're gonna play defense. We're gonna pick you up full court. We're gonna be aggressive. We're gonna rebound, and then we're gonna try to get out in transition and run. I think for us, shooting doesn't always travel. One thing that can always travel is effort and defense. And I think on some of those nights where you're not shooting the ball that well, if you can get those stops, you can win a lot of games. And I think defense has showed really through all levels in the NCAA tournament, really everywhere. The teams that defend are the teams that go far. So for us, we always hang our hat on defense. That's something we harp on all the time in practice. And I think that's why we're one of the better defensive teams in the nation.
And you think of Seattle defense, I think some of those other defining characteristics you mentioned, rebound and run, because it all works together in symmetry, so to speak. I do want to kind of peel back the curtain a little bit towards your experience at Seattle, and kind of what's been the most rewarding part about being a Red Hawk so far, and kind of like, we have not seen or really experienced the Pacific Northwest as much as we can as WCC media members, but kind of like peel the curtain for us of what has been the most rewarding part about being either in the Seattle area, being part of the Seattle program, or just in general your experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I mean, I'm a kid from Alaska, so I've been here quite a bit. Just traveling and playing basketball at AU and stuff like that. But now there's a lot of love in the city for sure, especially in the area that we're at. People show a lot of love. People are always coming out to support. People always want to see us do well, and I think that's one of the most rewarding factors in our home games. Like I said, we don't have a huge arena, but people always come to show love after the games. There's kids always wanting to talk to you about the game, want to sign something, as well as some of the camps we put on in the summer. Kids always love to come back and watch games. And I think for me, that's always a fun thing. So I remember when I was a kid, I used to look up to all the college players and always wanted to play like them and, go to games and just talk to them. So I just think after the games, we're talking to younger kids, elementary school kids about basketball and just how happy they are to see us play. I think that's a super rewarding thing for me, just being a young kid. And I've always loved basketball. So I think for me in the area, just all the love that the community shows, it means a lot.
I love that. Some of the best parts aren't even when you're tipping the ball off and going and playing for 40 hard minutes. So yeah. I like that.
And I mean, one of the things, I mean, you kind of touched on, like the support you get in Seattle. I mean, Seattle is a basketball town. Like it always feels like regardless if it's high school, college, pros, like that is a basketball town. Like when you talk, what's kind of been that vibe, like an experience, like kind of being part of the basketball community there in Seattle, because there is such a rich history of just great players coming out of the region.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, it is a basketball town. There's always basketball everywhere. You can always find guys hooping, and I think for me, like the community is very welcoming, especially if you play basketball. Like everyone knows you. Everyone wants to say what's up. Everyone's cool with everyone. No one's too big, or even some of the pro guys who come back, they come around and everyone's always, super interactive with each other, always meeting new people and stuff like that. So like you said, I mean, the town loves basketball, and they always want to be around basketball, always want to watch basketball, and always want to talk about it. And for me, that's lovely because I love basketball as well. So it's super fun to be around, and it's always good vibes in the gym, just about anywhere you are in Seattle.
And one more regionality question, if you will. What's it like going back to Alaska? And because I covered a different team down here in the Bay Area for football, and there's an Alaskan on that team, and there's always like a different type of vibe when you go home. It's like, oh my God, these guys have, so to speak, are making a name for themselves outside of the region. What kind of like the vibe when you get to go home ever so often and say, hey, here's an Alaskan making a name for himself. I'm Brayden Maldonado. You're about to know my name.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially being from where I'm from in the city, it's not too many people who make a name or really play college basketball or even a college sport in general. So for me, I always kind of took it as a challenge. Like, I'm gonna be one of the kids that people hear about. You know what I'm saying? People know about, oh, well, Brayden's at Seattle, I'm gonna go follow Seattle basketball now. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think for me, it's super fun going back and getting all the love from everybody and all the young kids at the Boys and Girls Club that I used to go to and stuff like that. Like, they know who I am and they can look up to me, and I can try to help guide them and share my experience and share some of the knowledge I've learned. Because basketball can take you a bunch of places, and that's kind of just what I want to tell the kids. Like, it can get you out of Alaska, it can take you all around the world. So just don't be afraid to pick up a basketball, a soccer ball, a baseball, really anything. But just go all in at it, and you never know where it can take you. So I think going back to the city, talking to the kids, some of my old high school teachers, stuff like that, it's always fun, and I kind of carry it with pride.
As he should.
All right. As we start to wrap it up, we're going to do a quick some rapid fire questions at you just to kind of get to know you a little bit better. So first one is going to be, who's a player you model your game after most?
D'Angelo Russell.
All right. Favorite Seattle food?
I guess Seattle dog. Seattle dog.
Seattle dog. All right. Favorite late night snack?
Late night snack. I'll probably go like some Doritos, like some chips or something.
So are we going like the spicy nacho, or are we going like Cooler Ranch, or what's kind of like the Dorito direction?
I like the Cool Ranch. I like Cool Ranch. I'll go with Cool Ranch.
+1 on that one.
Yeah.
Best Seattle pro sports environment. So Seahawks, Mariners, Storm, Sounders, Kraken. Who's got the best environment?
I did go to a Seahawks preseason game, and it was basically sold out. So I would say the Seahawks.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
And I'm the +1 on that one. I will stay awake until way too late and then pay for it in the morning. And then lastly, what do you do to relax?
I like to watch shows. I like to kind of just throw something on and just kind of relax in my bed, working out, lifting and stuff. You kind of just want to chill. So I like to watch shows, TV, stuff like that.
What do you have? What are you watching right now?
Currently, I'm finishing up Snowfall. I'm on like the last season of Snowfall, and then I was watching The Sopranos as well.
That'll do.
Really, yeah.
That's a good rotation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Brayden, for hopping on with us and talking some Seattle basketball. Exciting to have the Red Hawks in the WCC, and we will. The season starts in just about 2 months, and Brayden. So again, thanks a lot for hopping on, and we will definitely catch you down the road.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.